It's so great that you decided to make a plan to improve your communication skills. After all, communication skills are incredibly important with our friends and just in order to communicate our ideas with the world. Believe it or not, when we practice communication, one of the most important parts is the way that we listen to other people. This type of listening, called active listening, is actually a skill that we have to practice in order to get good at it. It is worth the practice, though, because if you become an active listener, people are going to be more apt to want to talk with you. In active listening, I came up with a little play on words called RED. So for active listening, there's three things you need to remember, and it spells out RED, so it will be easy for you to kind of go through it in your head as you practice your new active listening skills. The first thing you need to remember is the R. This is arguably the most important part because by reflecting back to somebody, it means that you're letting them know that you understand the words and the feelings that this person is sharing with you. For instance, if a friend comes up to you and says, "Oh man, I just found out I have to move." When you listen to that sentence, you learn that the person has to move, but also based on the way they said it, "Oh man," with that tone, you know that they're not feeling so happy about this. In fact, they sound really upset. So, in order to reflect that back to the person, you can do one of two things. You could ask a question just to make sure that you understand, and you could say, "Oh, it sounds like you're upset about moving. Is that true?" Or you can simply, if you're pretty sure you understand how they're feeling, you can just empathize with them. And empathize means to let them know you understand the feeling. So you could say, "Oh, that must be really hard to know that you have to move." So I think being able to reflect back can be really important because it allows people to know that you truly understand what they're saying. Eye contact is another important part. You want to make sure that you're looking at the person who's speaking, which sounds so simple, and yet it makes a huge difference when you're aware of it and you make sure to do it. This allows the person to know that what they are saying is important to you. It's where you put your full attention. Make sure also when you're talking to somebody, especially if it's an important conversation, that you're not doing anything else. So you're not looking down at your phone or looking away in the distance at something that's distracting you. You want your full attention on that person, especially looking at their eyes. And also notice how your body is standing. You want to make sure that your body is open and that your body language is not closed off. So if you look at the little boy with the yellow shirt on, he actually has closed body language. His arms are crossed around his chest, and he's a little bit closed off. If you look at the girl in orange, though, she actually has open body language. She looks a little bit more friendly. Her arms are open. She's standing confidently. So just the way that you stand can make a difference. Same with the two boys down below. The one in the white shirt has open body language. It's easier to talk to somebody with open body language as opposed to the guy in pink where he's all closed off with his arms crossed, his body is slouched, his eyes are looking down. That's not what we want when we're practicing active listening. The final thing is don't interrupt. So when somebody is talking, you definitely do not want to interrupt in the middle of their sentence. This is just a way that makes people feel like you don't think what they're saying is important. So that's one part. And the other part about not interrupting is when the person is speaking, you want to be listening fully to what they're saying to see if you can really understand everything they're trying to communicate to you. Now, when they are doing this, you do not want to be thinking about what your response is going to be. After they're done talking, then you think about how you'd like to respond. But when someone's talking, you want to give them your full attention. What you can do for your plan is practice with at least one conversation a day. So try out your RED active listening with one person a day. And if you're able to do all three things, you'll give yourself a check mark, tally mark. And each day you can do that and maybe start adding extra conversations throughout the day and see how many RED active listening conversations you can have. This is a great way to track your progress. And you can also reflect on